Hey guys, it's Pat from Pat's Brewery and we're doing an Irish Dry Stout today. That's right, an Irish Dry Stout, and no warnings this time about extremely long brew footage. I did a fair bit of brew footage, but actually I realised that a lot of it was just repeated from previous videos, kind of stuff, nothing overly new that was worthwhile sharing. So instead we'll just stick a little bit of a transition from mash through to boil to hop drops somewhere at some point over here. Let's see, Irish Dry Stout. Let's get this poured. I've not even sampled this at all, this one. It's been in the keg for 14 days. So hopefully it's conditioning well. Now, with regards to the recipe on this one, now I do have a milk stout recipe which I will stand to. It is a great recipe. It can be tweaked. I've turned it from a standard milk stout into, adding in extra things like coffee or bourbon or anything like that. I'm going to purposely force ahead on this one because not much is being generated. Anyway, so yeah, I will stand behind my milk stout recipe. But a dry stout, I didn't actually have a recipe to hand. So what do you do when you need a recipe for a beer? You check out the Brewfather library, and one of the first recipes that came up was a dry Irish stout with lots of downloads and likes and positive feedback on. Literally it's just called Dry Irish Stout and it's got a picture of a Guinness logo. So I thought that's what I'll have a go. Now, it was meant to come out at 4.3%. We only ended up at 4.1. Maybe a bit more conditioning is needed as we haven't generated much head, and I literally poured it flat for the last good third. So maybe some more conditioning is needed, as I say. On the nose, initial roastiness. With regards to water treatment, I did go for Dublin water. So again, using the Brewfather app to adjust my RO water, purchased RO water, purchased from Spotless Water, and then tweaked using Brewfather. To get the recipe. Pretty good. I am liking that. So it's got good roast flavours. No real slightest hint of chocolate, roasty but not coffee. That's the main bit I would get at with that. In regards to mouthfeel, so we went with a relatively we went with a medium mash. We went with 65, just so that I can make sure that we got the dryness out of the beer. which I thought would make a nice contrast when, because again, this will be on tap during Oktoberfest, and I thought that a nice dry beer would be a good contrast next to the very much full-bodied yellow snow that we've got going on as well. You know, they both have the same water profile, but the way that they've been brewed at obviously different temperatures, you know, definitely will give that difference in body. That is lovely. That is lovely. I mean, as I say, didn't generate much head, but I think that should change. You know, it is sticking to the glass, which is nice. I'm really quite happy with that. That is a recipe that I would definitely say is worthwhile looking at with all of the you know, recommended likes and bits and pieces. It's a good recipe. I mean, well, it's not overly complicated. From memory, it's, you know, base malt of Marisotto, then it is a small amount of chocolate malt, and then quite a bit of flaked or it was roasted barley. Yeah, so the grain bill, not complicated. The hops are all East Kent Goldings. Quite a bit on the bittering side, but yeah, I mean, that's a nice beer. That is a nice beer. Now, because I thought, you know, I can't just pour a beer and go, oh, there it is. When it's a Guinness, you've got to, or, you know, an attempt at a Guinness, you've got to go, well, how close are we? And a friend of mine, all he seems to drink is Guinness, and he doesn't watch these videos, but he left 4 cans round absolutely ages ago. It's probably been like 6 months since he's been round, at least. So, you know what, I think a Guinness to test the Guinness clone is deserved. Now obviously I didn't do the whole slow pour on the Guinness, although I've seen people doing a lot of the one where you pour it and then you slowly raise it up. That's been a big thing recently, hasn't it? Right, let's just call it as we see it. No one is seeing through either of these pint glasses. The tiny head that we did get was maybe a little bit darker than the Guinness here. Okay, so taste is obviously different. In a lot more roast in this, whereas in the Guinness, by contrast, it's almost no roast in it. I didn't think that was that roasty until I tried that. That's an interesting one. Guinness comes out at 4.1% this can, so my drop in ABV maybe makes it a little bit closer to the original, the recipe calls out, but You know what? There's almost a fruit flavour in like a berry. That's weird. That's weird that I've never tasted a berry or a currant flavour from a Guinness before. I'm having a stroke. Oh God. It's interesting. It's interesting. My mind's a little bit twisted right now because that Guinness doesn't taste like Guinness. Not how my head says it should taste. Wow. Okay. Don't know what to say or do now. Still, what I would class as a very good stout. It's clearly not Guinness though. Well, it's not this kind of Guinness. Right, well, while I start questioning everything I've ever known, let's leave it there, guys. This is Pat from Pat's Brewery, drinking a Guinness clone that is not so much a Guinness clone, but it's still a good beer. Cheers.